This afternoon, we are going to take up testing for genetic diseases. Okay? So, genetic testing is a type of medical test that identifies changes in chromosomes, genes, proteins, and the results of the genetic test can confirm or rule out a suspected genetic condition or help determine a person's chance of developing or passing on a genetic disorder. So these are the different types of genetic testing: cytogenetic, biochemical, and molecular methods. So for cytogenetics, what we do is examine the whole chromosomes for abnormalities. So we have 22 autosomes and 1 pair of sex chromosomes. So we look at them individually in order to find any abnormalities in the structure of the chromosomes. So in this process, we grow tissue cultures, usually the T lymphocytes, and then the chromosomes are fixed, spread in a microscope slides, and then stained. So we incite the cells to undergo mitosis, and then we add a drug to stop the mitosis at metaphase, and then we fix the chromosomes. We put it on the slides, the microscope, and break the cell membrane to scatter the chromosomes, and then they are stained. And then we take pictures of these chromosomes, and then we individually identify them based on their size of the centromere, the length, and the distinct bonds on each arm of the chromosome. Then we take picture of it. In biochemical testing, we analyze the proteins that are present in the sample, and you can use either blood or urine, and we look for too much or too little or absence of the protein supposed to be synthesized by the gene, presence of misfolded protein, altered active sites or other critical regions, and incorrectly modified localized buildup of proteins or assembled proteins. Of course, for the molecular testing, we use small samples, and usually we identify DNA mutations that are not visible in the other methods, particularly if the function of the protein is not known, and biochemical tests cannot be developed for that particular abnormality. So a DNA test can be performed on any tissue sample and require very small amounts of sample. So you can do PCR for this purpose, and you can amplify the DNA. For some genetic diseases, many different mutations can occur in the same gene and result in a disease, making molecular testing challenging. So there are samples of diseases that are caused by several mutations, although there are also diseases that are several manifestations that are caused only by one mutation. So marami pa tayong aaralin dyan. So how does genetic tests help? It can diagnose the disease if the patient has symptoms, can pinpoint genetic factors that cause the disease. It can predict how severe your disease might be. You can choose the best medicine and correct dose using genetic testing, using the pharmacogenetics. Discover genetic factors that increase your disease risk. Can be now done with genetic testing. You can identify the ancestry from where you come from and what diseases are increased in your particular group. No? Find genetic factors that could cause or can be passed to your children, particularly diseases that are recessive. So you can test for carrier among the parents, okay? So that you know the chances of the children developing the disorder. And you can also screen for newborns for certain treatable conditions. So there are some genetic diseases that if diagnosed early enough can be treated to prevent complications that can arise from that particular disorder. Okay, so you can use it in newborns, you can use it for diagnosis, you can use it for carrier testing, you can use it for prenatal diagnosis of genetic diseases, for presumptive diagnosis, forensic. Of course, you can use genetic testing. We have done this in several types. So yung may bagyo na maraming namatay, so, for identification purposes. Pre-implantation testing and lifestyle modification. Okay. So, during the newborn screening, they are used after birth to identify genetic disorders that can be treated early in life. Okay. So we usually do this test within 1 week, no? Or 48 hours after birth. Usually it is mandatory in the United States for certain conditions like phenylketonuria and congenital hypothyroidism. But in the Philippines, we have also a set of congenital diseases that are routinely tested for newborn screening. So these are some of the examples. So mandatory itong mga ito. Glucose 6-phosphatase deficiency, dehydrogenase deficiency, congenital hypothyroidism, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, galactosemia, phenylketonuria, and maple syrup urine disease. But when you have expanded tests, you can include additional substances to test or disorders to test. Like for example, cystic fibrosis, usually among children from mixed marriages, no? Kasi purely Philippines do not have cystic. Usually, mga Americans, diba? Biotinidase deficiency, organic acid disorders, and there are a lot under this, fatty acid oxidation disorders, and so on and so forth. Maraming under dyan sa mga disorders na yan. So unfortunately, you will see this newborn screening procedure in your laboratory. It will be shown to you. So here we can use your PhilHealth as to be able to have your screening, no? Your newborn screening. So we have what we call newborn care packets up to 1,750, and you have here the breakdown of all those expense, no? And yan, sabi natin, 24 to 72 hours from birth. If patient has been admitted in the newborn intensive care unit, it can extend up to 7 days. So you need only few drops of blood obtained from pricking the baby's heel, mga 4 o 5 yata na. And bloods on a special absorbent card and dried for at least 4 hours. So this is where you do your blotting. Okay. So, ito binablat. So, kailangan hindi siya lalagpas dyan sa bilog na yan. Tsaka kailangan, the blood should be evenly distributed. Okay? So, these are all filled up. And you have here a part of the form that can be detached and given to the patient for PhilHealth claims. So, these are some of the congenital diseases that we screen for and the incidence. So the most common is G6PD deficiency, no? 1 is to 56 live births. Okay. Then you have your alpha thalassemia, congenital hypothyroidism, hemoglobin E, and congenital adrenal hyperplasia. For diagnostic testing, it is used to identify or rule out a specific genetic or chromosomal condition. So parang ano na yan, ang confirmatory testing na yan. It's used to confirm a diagnosis when a particular condition is suspected based on physical signs and symptoms. Okay, so usually these are already after birth, no? Can be performed before birth or anytime during a person's life, but it's not available for all genetic condition. Yung before birth, they are able to identify certain abnormalities during ultrasound testing of the pregnant mother. So kung may nakita silang abnormality doon, then you can also do diagnostic testing. Or if they have elevated parameters in the blood or in the amniotic fluid, no? They can also do this diagnostic testing. So you consider a disease a genetic in nature when it occurs in more than 1 family members. So it runs in the family. So patients who have multiple spontaneous abortions, stillbirths, and childhood diseases or deaths may be attributable to a genetic disorders. Okay, so the mother should be tested for this. Family history of adult diseases like heart disease or cancer in 2 or more relatives, and at early age, they may have the predisposition, and that can be identified. Developmental delay like mental retardation and congenital malformation, and these morphologies, they are abnormal in physical attributes, okay, at birth. What about carrier testing? No? So, as the name implies, it is used to identify people who carry one copy of a gene mutation. Usually, mga recessive traits to. No? So, kung hindi sila homozygous, hindi sila magmamanifest. Okay? So, usually, both parents are affected by the disorders. Offered to individuals of a family history of genetic disorder or to people in certain ethnic groups with an increased risk of specific genetic conditions. If both parents are tested, it can provide information on the risk of having a child with a genetic condition. Okay. So pareho silang heterozygous. So, what are the chances of their children becoming or having the disease? So these are the most commonly tested carrier disorders: cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Duchenne is X-linked recessive. Okay. Prenatal testing, okay, used to detect changes in the fetus genes or chromosomes before birth, and it is offered during pregnancy if there is an increased risk that the baby has a genetic disorder or chromosomal disorder. So usually yung mga high-risk parents, no, high-risk father or high-risk mother, usually increased maternal age and increased paternal age are associated with this. It cannot identify all possible inherited disorders and birth defects. Prenatal diagnosis indications, okay, so you have your advanced maternal age due to increased risk of chromosomal abnormalities, and screening test or ultrasound that showed an increased risk. Predictive or pre-symptomatic testing is used to detect gene mutations associated with disorders that appear later in life. Okay. So for people who have a family member with genetic disorder but who have no features of the disorder themselves at the time of testing. So there are some genetic diseases. Usually yung mga autosomal dominant. They manifest much later in life, like Huntington's disease. Predictive testing can identify mutations that include a person's risk of developing the disorders with a genetic basis. So cancer, there are some markers of cancer that will predict the risk of having these disorders later on, especially yung may mga familial trends, no? Yung familial tendencies. Pre-implantation testing, okay? So it is used to detect genetic changes in embryos that was created using assisted reproductive techniques such as in vitro fertilization. Okay? A small number of cells are taken from these embryos and tested for certain genetic changes. Only embryos without these changes are implanted in the uterus to initiate pregnancy. So pag in vitro fertilization, hindi siya basta-basta na pag na-fertilize, implant siya. It has to be tested that it does not contain any genetic abnormalities before it is finally implanted to the prospective mother. Okay. Forensic testing. Okay. So it can be used to identify sequences to identify individual for legal purposes. So kagaya ng mga crime, no? You can diagnose the source of the sperm by testing for the gene. Kung na-rape yung pasyente, and it can be recovered from her. No? Yun ang isa sa mga legal. At saka, of course, yung ginagawa nila ngayon na they are looking for the sa bungero in the alley. So they can test whatever DNA they can recover with it. But so far, sabi nila, wala silang ma-identify na DNA. Because it has been destroyed by the long stay under salty water. Okay? So it is not used to detect gene mutations associated with the disease, kasi yung mga hereditary yun. is used to identify crime or catastrophe victims, like this one, and even in the, ano, di ba, yung sa Leyte noon, magkaroon ng, multiple death because of the typhoon. Rule out or implicate a crime suspect or establish biological relationship between people, like for example, paternity testing. Okay, so paternity testing is usually done by testing for the DNA for both child and parents and father. Okay, lifestyle modification. So they have this organization, 23andMe USA. So they said that this was started in 2006, wherein they extracted saliva or got sample of saliva for almost 15 million people were tested for this. And then they extracted the sequences of DNA to analyze information about ancestry, family traits, and potential health risks. Okay. So they have to store all of this information, and be able to access it for testing in certain conditions. No? So, pag merong relative or somebody who want to know these things, then they can use this information for this purpose. The other one is Circle DNA Philippines. So Circle DNA is also an international organization, but it has a parang branch dito sa Philippines. So it also offers comprehensive testing, providing detailed health, wellness, and ancestry reports through a kit and app-based system using NGS, your next generation sequencing technology, to deliver accurate results. Okay. So ganun na extensive. Of course, not all people can afford this. So yung mga interesado lang sa kanilang mga heirs, I guess would go for this testing. So it also uses whole exome sequencing and the database, pharmacogenetics, diet, exercise, and genealogy. So of course, pharmacogenetics, as we have mentioned in the first part of the lecture, you can identify the best drugs and the dose of the drugs, and possible complication. Yung alam mo na merong effects sa person will not be used for him because it will be discovered or identified through pharmacogenetics. Okay, these are some of the routine markers that can be used to identify certain genetic disease. For muscular dystrophy, you have your Becker and Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So, iti-test mo yung Duchenne, whether it is present or absent or deficient. Okay? Pag absent siya talaga, yung Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Pag Becker, ibig sabihin it's only deficient, hindi siya absent. BRCA1 and BRCA2, breast, ovarian, and prostate cancers. So these are indicators for predisposition for all the tumors of these organs. No? Cell-free screening, Down syndrome, CFTR mutations for cystic fibrosis, okay, and then familial mutations for familial hypercholesterolemia, mutations for familial hypercholesterolemia. So you are testing here for your LDL receptors. Then FMR1 mutations. So this is your familial mental retardation 1 mutation, which tests for autism and intellectual disability. Huntington's disease for Huntington's mutation, Hexa mutations for TISAC, SBB, sickle cell anemia, and so on and so forth. Okay? So these are markers that can be tested if you are predisposed to this condition. Yung mga nakablue, yung mga conditions where patients are predisposed to. So how do you get sample? You can get from your buccal mucosa, blood.
Okay.
Can do a prick for a baby from the heel. You can get samples from the amniotic fluid. You can get chorionic villi from the placenta. And you can do fine needle aspiration, bone marrow, fine needle aspiration. So, ang most common na ginagamit usually ay blood lymphocyte. Okay? Ayan. So amniocentesis is an invasive procedure, so it carries a small risk of miscarriage. So the timing is important. It should be performed in 15 to 20 weeks gestation, age of gestation. Okay. So this is a picture. Usually it's the obstetricians that do this sampling for your amniotic fluid, and even for your placenta chorion villi. Okay. So yeah, fetal tissue is removed from the chorion either transcerdentally or transabdominally. 10 to 13 weeks ang ideal time to do the sampling. I think that's the last thing. Do you have any questions?